What is going on, Panther Lair? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers victory over the Longwood Lancers this past Friday night. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how important difficult shot making is in this offense. So we're going to take a look at 4 of Brandin Cummings' three-pointers that he made. Did finish with 19 points on 5 of 10 from the floor, including 5 of 8 on three-pointers, but wanted to isolate these 4 in particular. So we're going to play these sequences out here, and we will take a look. So this is late in the very first half. You'll see, I mean, I've talked a little bit about this. I think this is just the reality of Pitt's offense, where they're going to run, some 5 out or 4 out and 1 in, where they're going to have the big initiate a lot of dribble handoffs here along the wing. So that's going to be the case. And what ends up happening here is if this big stays up to touch here with Corin, there's a chance that Cummings is able to just turn the corner and get all the way at least into the paint here. You see these players here. I think this is Witherspoon and Minor. They're going to do an exchange on this side, but Longwood just kind of naturally switches this. It doesn't actually influence anything, and so now you get help from one pass away pretty much at the nail. Cummings makes a really good read, kicks this to Minor. Rotation, no one open, and so this is going to kick back to Cummings, who's going to hit a pretty deep 3 here. Take a look at the possession about 4 minutes into the second half. See, Cummings does miss this corner 3. Pretty good offensive rebound here by Conte, but he just not really great hands. So Lipa ends up with the ball, kicks this back out to Cummings, who again hits a highly contested shot from pretty much the same place, makes it the second time. Okay, so I think this is going to be a pretty big staple part of the Panthers offense. You're going to see Indrusitis is going to set this down screen. Conte's going to come up here to set a ball screen. And the hope is that his man is going to be in a much bigger trailing position, in my opinion, because that's going to put a lot more pressure on the screener's defender to make a decision. He's going to have to make some choppy steps here potentially and get in a position to guard a downhill Witherspoon. How he does get set. I do like Witherspoon. I'm just going to take a second here. I think he does apply a lot of rim pressure. It does seem like the game, I don't want to say is a little bit too fast, but there's times where he seems somewhat out of control, even if he's not necessarily out of control, almost like he's like paced up a little bit. But I think he's going to settle in nicely. Applies a lot of rim pressure, really good size. I've liked what I've seen so far. Again, you're going to see him drive left here. Good job from relocation from Indrusitis. A little sloppy. I think, you could expect that 2 games into the season. Ball is going to rotate back here. It's going to make its way back to Cummings. And again, this is a very end of the shot clock type of possession. You're just going to see a high ball screen. That's pretty much what Pitt does. And Cummings makes the most out of it by making an extremely difficult shot. And we're going to take a look at one more three-pointer here. Really like that ball screen was iced. I think Corin's defender was just going to meet him at the 3-point line. So this kind of turns into a natural switch. They do have the mismatch in here. I think the spacing's never good. Like, it just seems like the players are just like a beat off right now, which is, that's like pretty typical early in the season. A lot of new faces here, but like, in another scenario, maybe like this is already cleared, right? So like in this scenario, Conte's already cleared, so maybe that pass could have been made in there. But again, they're just kind of like a little bit a beat slow, a little bit different here. They ended up being able to like naturally switch this because of the clear out. And so you have Cummings working on a guard-to-guard screen. I do like those anytime that they are able to do the guard-to-guard screen. But just another tough shot by Cummings here. I think ultimately Pitt's going to need guys to make really tough shots. I mean, this isn't really a new thing. I just thought, hey, let me just take a look at some of these. As I was watching this live, seems like they made a lot of contested threes, a lot of contested shots, and that certainly was the case here. I think they're just not getting the timing right on some of the mismatches. They're unable to generate a lot of advantages off screens. That's not really new, but I think it's something that they will get better at as the season progresses. And good news if you're a Panthers fan is they're winning along the way here.